Hey, seniors, how you doing? Today is February the 10th. It is Thursday, and the persuasive paper is behind us now. So I know that you're excited about that. What we are doing today is that we are making kind of making a shift. We're kind of making a move a little bit. We're kind of continuing with some of the things that we have been doing, looking at persuasive pieces. But this time we're going to take it one step further, and we're going to try to do some analysis of those persuasive pieces and look at the rhetoric that is used to get that point across. So today we're going to shift gears a little bit. And today we're going to give you a topic to start looking at. We're going to use this for the next few classes. And we're looking at the topic of space colonization, going into space and humans going into space, moving into space and taking over new places. A little bit here, as long as humans have looked up into the skies, we've thought about gods living up there, these other terrestrial beings, be it religious gods or just aliens or other life forms, whatever it might be. The idea of space travel or us going into space dates back to at least 1610 with the invention of the telescope with the Johannes Kepler, who wrote to Galileo, "Let us create vessels and sails adjusted to the heavenly ether, and there will be plenty of people unafraid of the empty waste. In the meantime, we shall prepare for the brave sky of travelers maps of the celestial bodies." Obviously, there is no shortage of people who would love to go to space, as evidenced by people like Richard Branson, Elon Musk, and Jeff Bezos, who are taking people into space and creating a whole new business model based on that. But what we're looking at, I think it's really easy for a lot of us to think, "Man, I'd love to go to space." But I think we're going to ask you to be a little bit more critical. And the question, should we be colonizing space? Should we be leaving the Earth and going to other places and creating new civilizations there? Okay. And so that's kind of what we're looking at. And this idea of the value, the benefits, the drawbacks, the disadvantages, the problems of, the reasons for, and the reasons against doing something like that. Be it as close as, orbiting colonies, the moon, Mars, or even farther beyond. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're starting with just first this little bit of inventory and just this really quick doc. Now, this will be on paper, so you'll be doing this on paper, but just a real quick doc that kind of asks you like, hey, what do you think? Should we be doing this or not? Should we be going through space? Should we be colonizing? Yes or no? And so really just kind of before we do anything, asking you where you stand. This is kind of a chance for you to declare your starting point. And then in question 2 and question 3, 3 benefits to and 3 drawbacks of. So obviously, if we're going out into space, if we're going out into the ether, if we're going out into beyond Earth, there are a lot of advantages. For instance, there is a lot of speculation that some asteroids could be made up entirely, almost entirely of lithium. And lithium is a very rare element, and it's very uh, lucrative to mine. And it's in short supply, high demand. It is very valuable. If you could find almost unlimited amounts of lithium, you could create a whole new economy, right? I mean, that would be a benefit of going out into space and traveling and exploring and colonizing. Drawbacks, are other places ready for humans? I mean, just think about the diseases we bring with us, right? We may give this new planet something that they have no immunity to, and we could wipe out a whole civilization very easily. Look at the Europeans when they traveled to the United States for the first time, and we wiped out whole swaths of Native Americans with just common diseases that we had. So, looking at those kinds of things, what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of colonizing space? Now, once you've done that, we want you to start doing some basic research. And what we're going to ask you to do is to find one source that you believe really, really helps you understand the topic and your position. Okay? For it or against doesn't matter. What we want you to do is we want you to find a source. And that source, then we're going to use next week when we start doing some rhetorical analysis. Okay? Inspire.net would be a great place to find this because you will find tons of stuff there, and it's all going to be valid information. You could be searching for things like space colonization's advantages, disadvantages, problems with, benefits of, why we should or why we should not, right? Or the history of. Once you find a source that you think is really good for you to use, we want you to come over here, your first name, last name, what block you're in, and then paste the URL in here. Now, if you are using Google, which is fine as long as you're very careful in finding good sources, you can grab the URL at the top, bring it here, paste it. If you are in Inspire and you are doing that, you will need to bring the permalink. It's a little button on the right side. It'll say permalink. When you click on it, it'll change the URL at the top, and then that way you can kind of grab it. If you just do a search and grab the address off the top, we're not going to be able to find it again. This form doesn't ask for the title or the author or anything. It's just the link. So if you don't do that, you're not going to have your article to print. As you are doing this, please make sure you're asking Ms. McGuire for help so we can help you do this. If you're using Google, you won't have a problem. If you're using Inspire, you just have to be kind of careful. You're going to paste your answer in right here, hit submit, away it goes. Over the weekend, beginning next week, we will print these articles off for you so that you can use for your rhetorical analysis next week. All right. So I hope that you find this topic a little bit interesting. I hope you find it's kind of fun. Maybe you'll learn something kind of new. But again, the big goal is for us to be able to say, here's my position, here's a source, and then we can kind of be really critical about it. Next week, we're going to give you some sources to use to supplement the one that you find today. Again, if you have any questions, please make sure that you reach out to Ms. McGuire so that we can give you some help. Good luck, everybody.